Today, we will answer the question of our followers. Is x squared over 5x plus 6 greater than 1 is the same thing as x squared greater than 5x plus 6? Now, pause this video right now and comment your answer in the comment section down below, because I will show you the solution in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so let's see if these two inequality are the same or not the same. So first, let's answer this inequality on the right hand side. So given x squared is greater than 5x plus 6. Now keep in mind, when you are answering an inequality question, always equate this to 0, or always keep the right hand side or the left hand side be 0. So to do that, let's subtract 5x minus 6 on both sides, have x squared minus 5x minus 6 greater than 0. Now, since this is 0, this is now okay. So what we're going to do is to factor this out. So we have x minus 6 multiplied by x plus 1. And from here, we need to get the critical points. And to get the critical points, we need to equate x minus 6 or the factors to 0. So we have x minus 6 equals to 0 and x plus 1 equals 0. So let's solve for the value of x. X equals 6, and on the other equation, we have x equals negative 1. So those are the critical points. And if we draw a number line, 6 and negative 1, we can put this in our number line because those are our critical points. So let's arrange this in least to greatest. So we have negative 1 and 6. Now, negative 1 and 6 are not counted in our solution because if we plug in negative 1, this expression equals 0, and we want greater than 0, not equal to 0. So negative 1 is not counted. Also this positive 6 with the same reasoning. Unless if we have here greater than or equal to 0, so negative 1 and positive 6 are accepted, or this is counted to our answer. Alright, and now from here, we need a point in each interval. So for example, from negative 1 to 6, let's choose 0 as our checkpoint. And greater than 6, we have here 7. And less than negative 1, we have negative 2. And now we will use sign analysis test. So if we plug in all x with negative 2, we have here negative number times a negative number. So a negative times negative is a positive. Therefore, the product is greater than 0. So this is okay. So this interval is okay. And the second, this checkpoint is 0. So if we replace all x with 0, we have 0 minus 6. This is a negative number times a positive number. So negative times positive is a negative. So this is not accepted because negative is not greater than 0. So this interval is not accepted. And now, from this interval greater than 6, the test point, the test value is 7. So let's replace all x with 7. So 7 minus 6, this is positive times a positive. Positive times positive is a positive. So this is greater than 0. So this is okay. Therefore, we can say that our solution to this inequality simply equal to negative infinity up to negative 1, parenthesis, union from 6, parenthesis 6, up to positive infinity. And this is our answer for the second inequality question. Now, how about the first? Alright, so let's get x squared over 5x plus 6 greater than 1. Now, as always, keep in mind, always equate this to 0. So subtract 1 on both sides, and we can rewrite this one as 5x plus 6 over 5x plus 6. Now, they have the same denominator, so we can now combine them. And let's focus on this result. Now, the numerator, we can factor this out nicely as x minus 6 multiplied by x plus 1. And now, from here, we need to get critical points. So we have 3 critical points here. X minus 6 equals 0, we get x equals 6. X plus 1 equals 0, we get x equals negative 1. And the last one is 5x plus 6 equals 0, we get x equals negative 6 over 5. So technically speaking, they are not the same thing because we have here 2 critical points, and on this inequality, we have 3 critical points. So using these critical points, let's plot here in our number line. So we have negative 6 over 5. The middle is negative 1, and we have 6. And all of those value is not counted because if x is positive 6, this is 0. If x is negative 1, this is 0. And we want greater than 0, not equal to 0. And if x is negative 6 over 5, our denominator is equivalent to 0, and this is undefined. Now, we want test points. So from this interval less than negative 6 over 5, let's have negative 2. From between negative 6 over 5 and negative 1, let's choose negative 1.1. From negative 1 to 6, let's choose 0. And greater than 6, let's choose 7. Now, let's use again sign analysis test. So let's replace all x with negative 2. Now, sign analysis test. This factor is negative. This factor is negative. The denominator is negative. Negative times negative is positive divided by negative is negative. So this interval is not part of our solution because all numbers in this part are all negative. Next, how about between negative 6 over 5 and negative 1? So we have our test point, negative 1.1. Now, using sign analysis test, this factor is negative, this factor is negative, the denominator is positive. So negative times negative is positive, positive divided by positive is positive. So this number is greater than 0. So this interval is okay. All right? This is accepted. Now, how about in this interval from negative 1 to 6? So our test value is 0. Now, this factor is negative. This factor is positive. The denominator is positive. The whole thing is negative. So this is not accepted. So this is not part of our solution. And greater than 6, test point is 7. Using sign analysis test, we have positive times positive over positive. The whole thing is positive. So this is okay. So this interval is okay. Therefore, our solution to this inequality is simply from negative 6 over 5 comma negative 1. Both is parentheses because they are not included. Union parenthesis 6 up to positive infinity. And this is our answer to the first inequality. And there you have it. Therefore, if we need to answer if these two inequalities are the same, and obviously they are not the same. And as always, we are done.